Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today is actually the first video I've sat down to film in 2023. It's my first day back after a 3-week break, which has been so nice. That's the longest break I've had since I started doing this back in 2020, so it's been nice, but I apologize if I'm a little rusty. Haven't sat here and done this for a wee while now. So since the last time I sat down and I saw you, we've had Christmas, we've had New Year, and we had my 23rd birthday on Saturday a few days ago. So, woo! For my first video back in the new year, I thought that I would do something that I haven't done for a while, but is often very request. It's a series that you all seem to really enjoy, so I thought that I would give that to you, and that is Bad Woman's Anatomy, because it's always a really fun time to see what men seem to think about the female body, because they think some things. Before we do get into it, I wanted to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Cheeks, and I will be telling you more about them in just a little bit. And I also want to say thank you to today's patron of the day. Courtney is a seagull. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. I hope that you enjoy this video. And if you would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat, and I'll tell you more about that at the end. Let's get into the really fun posts that don't make me want to ram my head into a wall at all. I was in the ER for lower abdominal pain and mentioned that I had an IUD and was concerned there could be a problem with it. The male nurse looked at me like I was an idiot and said, "Wouldn't the pain be in your arm then?" Like, buddy, what do you think the U in IUD stands for? Oh my god. We need to teach people in medical fields more about bodies because, sir, what the fuck? Like, even looking past the fact that the U in IUD stands for uterine, right? The implant in your arm is not likely going to hurt your arm unless it gets infected, right? It's hormones that target the reproductive system. It's what it's for. It like changes what your like ovulation and like your cycle and all that sort of stuff. So even in your arm, it causes lower abdominal issues because of what it does. It's very unlikely it's going to be affecting your arm. All the problems I had from the implant in my arm were, surprise, surprise, to do with like your reproductive system because that's what it targets. I didn't have arm pain. However, I was bleeding really heavily for a week straight every 2 weeks with terrible cramps, and it made my iron count drop by 80%. That was caused by what was in my arm. So regardless, even though you're dead wrong and it is in your uterus, that's what the U stands for, it would still impact your, you need to go back to med school. The nurses go to med school. I guess you'd have to do, I don't know how nurse school works. My sister's going to nurse school and I don't know anything about it. Regardless, they really need to teach you more about that. You should really be aware of that. If you work in a medical field, please have a basic understanding of the human body. Of all genders. Please. Thank you. Why y'all aren't changing your tampon every time you pee? So nasty. Can't believe this is even a discussion. And then it's 2 messages saying, I don't understand. If you don't remove the tampon, how does the pee get out? And there should be no debate, LMAO. Pee is absorbed just like blood, leaving no room for future blood to be absorbed. When will men learn that pee does not come out of the vagina? It is a separate hole. There is a separate place for it because the vagina is what is connected to your uterus, which is where, you know, babies are. And you can't be having a baby floating around in pee, you know? And it's unfortunate because, like, you know, we should learn this at school. We had to draw like diagrams, like extensive like diagrams of penises and vulvas at my school in sex education. So we did learn that, but I don't think everyone does that, and we really should, because it's not even just like men who don't know that. There are a lot of women and people with vaginas that don't know that's how it works, so that should really be common knowledge. Tampons and pee don't touch each other, and if they do, you haven't put it in properly. I'ma do some freaky shit with you. Lol, like what? I'ma use your pussy juice as lube. That's what it's there for. Lol 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 lol. Yeah, my guy, that's just sex. I'm gonna do some really freaky shit with you. Like what? Have sex. Why do you think that happens upon arousal, if not for that purpose? I mean, on the bright side, at least you're using lube. A lot of people don't use lube because they feel like it means that they're like not doing it right, you know, it like takes away from the experience. It means they're not like enjoying it enough or whatever, that they'd need to bring it in. However, that is not the case. Lube enhances experiences. Everyone's bodies work differently, and a lot of people benefit a lot from using lube. It's not something people should shy away from. So I'm glad that you use it, but I feel like you're confused as to like what it's for almost. Speaking of lack of knowledge around bodies and sex and sex education, etc., I would like to take a moment to tell you all about today's sponsor, Cheeks. Cheeks is a subscription-based sexual wellness platform, and they have a massive library on their site that includes things from adult videos to audio stories to live workshops and a taboo-breaking magazine. I think that it is really important that if you're going to be consuming such content, you need to get it from a place where you know where it's coming from and you know sort of like the ethics and the background, and you are supporting people directly for their work. When it comes to Cheeks, all of their performers are doing everything from their own free will. They set boundaries. They don't do anything that they're uncomfortable with. A lot of it is done like at home or by like smaller sort of independent companies. Everyone is getting paid for their work, and they want to make sure that it is a safe environment and a guilt-free, safe place for you also to explore your desires, because they host a whole range of different topics and subjects, etc. So you have like all different orientations and genders and body sizes and kinks, etc. And this month they are doing a happy hormone campaign where under this section you can find a range of videos, audios, magazines, and workshops that cover topics such as libido, as well as how pleasure and climax can help benefit you and your health. If you use my code Savannah7, you get a 1-week free trial when you sign up for an annual subscription, which you can cancel or change to a monthly subscription at any point during that week. But after that week is over, it is only £9.90 a month for the entire year's subscription, which is fantastic. So if you would like to check that out, then please do use the link in my description. And once again, use the code Savannah7 for your week trial. Thank you so much, Cheeks, for sponsoring today's video. I always love working with you. A fantastic site. I love it. I love them. I love working with them. So thank you. And let's get back into the video. So this is a message from someone that says, the best thing about your autism is that we can bang raw after our cuddles and you wouldn't be at risk of getting pregnant. What does he think autism is? How was this conclusion made? How did we get here? Like, a lot of the time I read these and I kind of understand like how lack of knowledge and just like assumptions and misinformation being fed to you, etc., can get you to the conclusion you get to. Kind of like, you know, tampons absorbing pee, right? Like, I understand that at least. This one? How did we get here? What do we think autism is? How... How does that make sense? I really need to know how we got here. If anyone knows how this conclusion was gotten to, if anyone knows anything about how we possibly got to autism means the inability of getting pregnant, do let me know, because I am baffled by this one. The next one is a TikTok about a guy talking about No Nut November, and he counters it with how about girls do No Discharge December. The fact you think those two things are even somewhat equatable is so funny. That's hilarious. How is giving up like pleasure for a month the same as like stopping your body from doing a necessary thing that you literally cannot control? Like, they're not really comparable at all. And like, trust me, bro, if we could control that, we would. None of us want our periods. None of us want discharge. This is all stuff that is happening to us against our will. And I promise you, if we could control it, we would make it stop. Unfortunately, they are necessary biological functions. Like discharge is the result of the self-cleaning process that your vagina does. And so as annoying as it is, without it, it means that function wouldn't be happening and that would be bad. But like, oh my God, is it so horrifying because it's acidic, right? Because like your vagina has to be acidic in order to kill bacteria and keep it like a nice and healthy sort of place where bacteria can't grow because, you know, it's warm and moist and stuff. So that's like bacterial breeding ground. So it has to be acidic, which means that discharge bleaches your underwear. And I know we all know that because it happens to all of us. But like, that's so terrifying. Like the fact that that's just like, I hate it. It's so cool. Like that bodies are like that and like everything works and stuff. But that's also terrifying. And I promise you that if it didn't have to happen, we would opt for it not to. Here is a woman deadlifting like a lot of weight. I don't know how much that is, but that is a ridiculous amount. And someone commented, did she know she can rip off her uterus while doing that? Women are not made for lifting. Where do you think a uterus is? What do you think a uterus is? How would that physically be possible? How would lifting something heavy rip your uterus off too? Rip your uterus off. That makes it sound like it's like stuck to you somewhere. And it's gonna just like be ripped off. I don't really know what you mean or how you think that would happen, but like, my guy. This whole narrative of like, women aren't meant to lift heavy things. If we weren't meant to lift heavy things, our bodies wouldn't create muscle and allow us to do that. And also, this doesn't make sense even coming from your silly little gender norms bubble of like, men do the strong hard work, women do the looking after the homework. Who is carrying the babies? Who is like carrying the fucking food and the water and moving shit around at home while their husband's out working and shit? Lifting heavy things is important for everyone to be able to do. So be quiet, please. I fucked dozens upon dozens of women and not a single one was able to come. It's biologically impossible for women to achieve orgasm. I don't know why y'all just be lying on this app for no reason. And someone replied, waterboarding couldn't have gotten this out of me, which is valid. There's a reason why you've had to sleep with dozens upon dozens of women, because no one will come back, because you've done a really shit job. If you have never made a woman come, you've not even had them like fake it, that's on you. That sounds like it's a really short, boring time. And like, they have forgotten they ever slept with you. On their like list of people they've slept with, they've just like left off your name because they just forgot about you. So I hope you're aware of that, because that's definitely what's been happening. And since you don't like listening to women, apparently, clearly, because you've not improved and you've never ever had a good sexual encounter, maybe you should go to Cheeks and check out their educational area and maybe try to learn some things. If you're not going to talk to those women directly, at least listen from other women, you know? Stop this like echo chamber of men who also don't think women can climax, because it's not working. It's not doing anything good. How to track your cycle naturally. Just look at the moon. Full moon is period time and new moon is ovulation, assuming your body clock hasn't wrecked you. This whole like myth that was created that like our bodies work like the tide, like the moons control our cycle like it controls the ocean, is so wild. We are not werewolves, actually. We are in fact all people. And could you imagine if this was true and every single person who menstruated at the same time and we all ovulated at the same time? Like if all of that happened simultaneously in the whole world, that would be a time to exist. That would be an interesting like week every month of everyone being in pain and like a bit irritable and moody. Obviously everyone experiences their periods very differently. Get a period tracker app. I think that might be the best way to do it. Yeah. This is a little cartoon of two women crossing a finish line that says, who's the winner, A or B? And A's foot is crossing the line first, but B's boobs are crossing the line a little bit before A's foot. So who's the real winner here? No one is running with their boobs out like that because it fucking hurts. Like, you're not going to be winning a race because you're going to be in pain at the back holding your boobs down because you made a mistake by not wearing a sports bra that day. I don't even have much boob. I have very little boob. I like never wear bras, and yet I would never run while not wearing like a sports bra or even like a bralette at the least, you know? Like, I'm not gonna do that because it's uncomfortable. So I cannot imagine how fucking awful it would be to run with big boobs. Like, all I've heard from people who have large boobs is that they cannot do exercise without wearing a sports bra. Some people wear like 2 sports bras. You gotta push them down so they don't bounce because it would hurt really bad. So A is winning because B is at the back crying. Next up, we have some really realistic photos that have not been photoshopped at all of someone wearing sportswear. And I just want to know the purpose of like people photoshopping their bodies or other people's bodies to the point of like not even looking human anymore. Because like, why? What are you doing? What point are you trying to prove? What are you trying to do? Like, this isn't an ideal body type. This is like literally not human. Because where are her organs? Where is everything? In her butt? I don't think that your like intestines go in your butt. I've been on like Depop and stuff looking for clothes to buy to go to concerts and shit. And people like Photoshop their photos while they're posing in their clothes that they want to sell. And I'm like, I'm sorry you have body confidence issues. Like, truly, I'm really sorry. But I don't give a fuck what your body looks like. I just want to know what the clothes are gonna look like. And now I can't tell because you photoshopped it. I don't know how the clothes are gonna sit. If anything, I want your body to look as much like mine as possible. That would make my life so much easier. The more you alter your body to look like less like the average person, the like harder it is for you to sell your shit because like I don't know what that's gonna look like on me. We're up to the final one, which is a TikTok where someone is saying, ladies, let me put you on game. If he's knocking your period off by a couple days every month, it's because it's syncing up with hers. Which is the most wild take I've ever heard. Because for one, obviously the like period syncing thing is not really a real thing. It sometimes just seems like it. Like me and Kat, our periods have like synced up multiple times, but that's because mine's irregular, hers is regular. And so every now and then they like sync up and it's like, whoa. You know? But like, that's just what we like to call coincidence. But I've never heard about it going through like a second person, like a third person. Like your period is being messed up because your boyfriend is cheating on you. That's such a jump, such a step to take. If you distrust your boyfriend so much that you want to blame your irregular period on him, maybe you shouldn't be dating him. Maybe you shouldn't be dating anyone, actually. It sounds like you really need to do some like self-reflection and some like figuring out why you have such terrible trust issues and figure out if maybe you don't trust yourself and you're putting that in on your boyfriend. Maybe, I don't know. This isn't a thing. It's like kind of shocking that you think that this is a real thing and that 826,000 people liked this TikTok. So a lot of people seem to think that that's a thing, which is concerning. I promise you that's not what's happening. Please don't blame your boyfriends for your period being thrown off. Maybe get out of relationships for a while because it's not working for you. You don't sound happy. Be in a relationship with people that you trust and love and aren't trying to hate for everything, you know? That's my advice to you. This has been my video. First video I filmed as a 23-year-old. First video I filmed in the year of 2023. So let's hope that it is going to be a good one. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons, Wolf, Toulouse, Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Kai, Jessica, Eldo, Ida, Queer Corey, Mick McKenna, Anna, Raven, Danielle, and Eliza. I love and appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus videos, vlogs, live streams, etc. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to ask, but it is important. I'm going to try to be a proper YouTuber this year and ask you to please subscribe. And also drop a comment. I'm going to try to reply to as many comments as I can, and I appreciate it a lot. Follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.